Hi friends, welcome to Concatenate, and today we want to understand what an echo statement is and what a print statement is, the difference, and of course what's common between the two, and definitely how we can work with them in PHP. If you want to understand how to configure the necessary softwares and the IDE for you to reach at this state, then please check the description. There is a video that will allow you and will make you understand on what has been done. So let's progress now. So in PHP, there are two ways in which we use if we want to output content on the screen. If we want to display something to the end user on our browser, of course through the server which we are using as now, the localhost server, XAMPP server, we can use two statements, which is an echo statement and the print statement. The only difference between the two is a print statement can also retain a value of 1, and an echo statement is capable of at least working with multiple parameters. We'll see as we progress in this session. Let's implement the actual syntax of PHP for you to see what we are talking about and how it can be done. So we've of course denoted the starting and ending of scripts of PHP by just doing that, which is the actual syntax. So let's first work with an echo statement. And of course you can tell that I've implemented a comment. This comment, of course, it won't be executed by the server, neither will the user see it if we go on our web browser. So an echo statement can be used if we want to either print strings or a multiple range of characters on the screen, or if we want to print out the numbers on the screen, or if we want to print out the content inside the variables that we are working with. For example, the statement echo, we can say echo, and immediately when we do echo as a statement, and definitely we place the content that we want to print out on the screen in between the double quotes or in between the single quotes. And then here I can say, how is the entire family? So definitely this will be printed on the browser after it being executed by the server. And from there I want just to implement another technique, which is a line break, which will allow me to print each and every line on a new line, unlike a continuous printing out of things in an orderly way. So what I want to implement is simply a break as a statement, a line break, which you will see how it works when we implement the second code. So this is what can be done. An echo statement, the content in between, if we are printing of course multiple characters on the screen, should be in between the double quotes. At the same time, the same thing can be of course be worked on. For example, I can say echo and then implement simply a single quote and then say, how are you, of course a question mark, yourself, and then okay. I terminate this statement also with a semicolon for I to denote that I've stopped coding in this line and I want to proceed in the next line. And I'll also implement a line break statement, which will allow me to also print the next content, the next statement on a new line. And again, we can use an echo statement if we want to print out now numbers. For example, we can say, okay, 567. This will be printed out, and you can tell I've not used any double quote or any single quote when it comes to the numbers, because they are not multiple characters. Of course, it's just a number. And if definitely I go on my browser, of which I'm using Google Chrome, if I go on my Google Chrome as a browser, definitely you can tell that here, once I refresh the page, I will have those things inside the double quotes and of course also the number printed out. So we are saying, okay, how is the entire family? How are you yourself? So this is what an echo can do. It is simply a statement that allows us to print content on the screen to output data to the end user, the people who will be seen or who will be working on the website. So another thing is, an echo statement is also used when we want to print multiple parameters on the screen. Though it is rarely used and not used frequently, let's just try to make an example of it for we to see what we are actually talking about. So you can tell here I've just implemented a how. Definitely I can now put, of course, a comma and then say another comma and then the double quotes u and then of course that. So this is more like multiple parameters because how is on its own double quotes, it's on its own double quotes, and u is on its own double quotes. If I refresh, this will be printed out normally. Of course, how are you? Let's just add that type of a line break for we to print this line also in its respective line. Immediately I refresh, how are you? That has been printed out. So this is one of the differences that's in between a print and of course an echo statement. Now, how can we work with a print statement? A print statement also prints out content to the end user on the website once it has been evaluated by the actual server. So to now work with the print statement, let me just replace the echo with print. We can also work with the print statement by following the same syntax. Of course, here we'll just say print. So they are one and the same. It's just that there is these technologies and anything related to that and the issue for returning a value. But with we here on Concatenate work more and more with the echo statement, since I don't know, I just like and love working with the echo statement. And definitely you can say that there is no difference. The print also prints out the content and the echo again prints out the same content. Print that number, of course, will be printed out. If I do that, then definitely that has been done. So this is how the echo and print statement actually works. They just prints out something on the end user. The things we mainly see on the websites, especially dynamic websites, they are available because of the print and the echo statement. So what if it is a variable? How can the print and the echo statement work with variables? A variable again can also be worked on when it comes to PHP. For example, we can declare a variable. Don't forget, a $sign should be first, and then we can say num to stand in for the number, and then we can say okay, 456. We put a semicolon, and then we can again say okay, another variable. Let's create a variable, then name, and then we can say Kevin Joseph, and then from there we can also terminate with a semicolon. Once we terminate, then this content we can also print them out using a print statement or using an echo statement. For example, we can say okay, print the content inside num variable. At the same time, we can also, of course, let's echo a line break, which is, of course, we want this content to be on a different line. So okay, then we can of course again echo definitely the content, my name is, definitely we want the content inside the variable name, and we even terminate with a semicolon. So the only thing I've added which is new, more like a new thing, is simply the break line statement. Don't worry about the break line statement. We will see how it works. Let me first refresh the page. So you can say, okay, print the content in num. We have printed out 456. My name is Kevin Joseph. The content in the name as simply a variable. Now, what is the break line statement doing, and how can we make it easy for you to understand what it does? Let's eliminate. Okay, we've eliminated and double check now on the results. You've seen 456, my name is Kevin Joseph. So I'm using the break statement as a line break simply for we to be printing out each content on a new line. So let's Ctrl Z for we to return. Okay, then definitely here when we refresh, we'll see the actual content now in the appropriate way. This is how the print and the echo statement actually work. They simply print out content on the screen. Let's proceed on our next session for we now to understand how we can integrate HTML inside PHP, because in the next sessions we'll mainly be integrating HTML inside PHP, HTML inside PHP, or I don't know if it's vice versa, PHP inside HTML. Let's progress and see how this can be done. Please, you are on Concatenate and don't forget to subscribe.